Unschooling is an extreme education philosophy. No curriculum, no teacher, no lessons, no national standards and no exams. Unschooling kids pretty much do what they want. The thinking is that kids are naturally curious and learn best through their natural life experiences. John Hudson with the Unschoolers.
Take out your writing book.
Back to school.
Take out a red pen and a ruler.
Students being taught what they may not want to learn.
All that research and homework we were doing last night.
And their teacher, Wayne Higginson, thinks there's another way. He might be a school teacher, but his own children don't go to school at all. So while most kids are in the classroom, Hannah, aged 12, Ollie, who's 10, and 7-year-old Charlie Higginson are out doing whatever they want to. Today, that's swimming with their mum, Jane. About 7,000 New Zealand children are homeschooled. And for the most part, that means learning from a curriculum at home, supervised by their parents. But an increasing number of New Zealand families are opting to do away with curricular-based education altogether and let their own children decide what they want to learn. It's called unschooling.
Oh, that's so nice.
Unschooling is the creme de la creme of education. And they're getting the best education that money can buy.
Why is it better than school, though?
Because it's a 1-to-3 ratio, and because they're getting to choose what they want to do and how long they do it for, and so they are getting to do what they're interested in, so they're always happy, alive, passionate.
It's not an experiment. It's not something we're trying for the hell of it. We're seeing it in action, and we're seeing results now. You going to sit there?
Jane is a former school teacher who thinks children learn best when they do what they want.
Do you want to spud potatoes? I can't, please.
When they're given time to find and follow their own passions.
This is the ultimate luxury of education, and we're really lucky that we can do it.
The luxury of learning at their own pace.
They don't stop asking questions at 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. They keep asking, and the questions get more complex, and they're more interested in different things, and they can do one thing for a longer period of time. So they don't have to stop after an hour or a day or a week. They can do it for months and months, and they do. It's quite incredible.
But there are a few rules for the Higginsons. Next to no TV and just one movie a week. Instead, they read, play and think.
I sometimes say to people, we just do life. We do what other people do in their school holidays.
But while the kids are just doing life...
No. You'll have to be a dinosaur or one of those bungee turtle things.
Their dad is teaching other people's children, all 27 of them, what the state curriculum tells him to teach.
I'm teaching because at the moment it's a passion. It's something that is exciting, stimulating for me and very rewarding, and it's something that I feel that I can work towards doing well. So you're writing down your sons, yeah?
Some unschoolers would say, well, look, school doesn't work. Why bother?
I think I can make a difference in students' lives, and for me that's important, and that's what I'm attempting to do.
Do you think your kids are missing out on anything by not being at school?
There are some things they're not exposed to, and I would in some cases I'd say those are things that they would choose not to be exposed to.
It's very easy, you know, there's no drama, and we don't make the kids line up and sit down. It's just they're there because they want to learn. If they're not, they'll go off and read a book. So why don't you finish up? Go and get your library books out.
At first, Jane and Wayne did send their children to school, until Jane read about unschooling.
I just shut the book and said, that's it. And we just changed overnight. It was amazing.
Was there any opposition from the rest of the family?
No. Kids all looked at me like I'd gone balmy and get great. They just got back on with their lives.
If Charlie, Ollie and Hannah were at school, they'd be in different classes, possibly different schools. But without school separating them and the box distracting them, the Higginsons spend much more time together, like riding to the local library.
Is that all?
There's so much to learn. and they never sit around going, oh, what am I going to do today? Because they have their passions and they have all the things they do around their passions.
So this idea of putting kids in an age group class, you know, structuring them by forms and by age is a false, fabricated
I think it's a very unnatural way to live. I mean, there's nowhere else in the real world that is duplicated.
How do you think this has changed your family life?
Oh, it's just so much better. When they were at school, all I said to them during the week was, come on, get up, pack your bag, have your breakfast, off you go, come on, we've got to go, we've got to go, we've got to go, rush, rush, rush. And I didn't connect with them. Whereas now, we've just all chilled out a lot and we're happy.
I'm a lot freer. If I say, well, I want to do this in the morning, I can do it because I don't have some teacher telling me, oh, no, actually you have to do this now, which is really important.
Yeah, so your life is directed by you every day?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hannah went to school for 2 years, doesn't miss it a bit.
It was just like we went on a holiday and didn't go back to school.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out on your education then?
No, definitely not, because I'm practically having the best education ever because I'm learning everything that I'm going to need to learn, and that's really cool.
She loves playing music, mandolin, guitar, piano, and music has become much more than just a hobby. It's a way of raising money to help pay for their movies that Hannah and her unschooler friend Eliza are making. So while most of the nation's 12-year-olds are in school, Hannah, Eliza and 7-year-old Charlie have the beginnings of a self-motivated career.
That's epic. It was amazing. We got a lot of money. Yeah.
How much?
We got about $1 a minute. We went for half an hour, so we got $30.
Another $30 towards the feature film that Hannah and Eliza are planning to make. So your learning is kind of project-based?
Yeah, definitely.
You can go as big and as long as you want to on that project.
We just made a movie that was half an hour long. That's our longest to date.
Hannah's brother Ollie is passionate about outdoor survival.
Last time I parachuted in Africa, I broke my back in 3 places. So this is not going to be easy.
His number one hero is Bear Grylls, the former SAS soldier who at 23 became the youngest Briton to climb Mount Everest and is now Chief Scout. Bear's survival program is the only television Ollie watches.
Okay, sensational. Doesn't that look good?
But not before Ollie's been down to the Cub Pack,
Have a go.
where his dad Wayne is a leader and Ollie's a sixer.
Oh, that's massive.
Ollie loves the outdoors.
Well done. Charlie, can you sit at the table and have some food?
Camping and tramping.
It's really important to keep your kit waterproof.
Yeah. And he's very proud of the survival kits he's made.
I don't know whether you know these things. They're called flint and steel.
Yeah. Show me how they work.
I've got a second.
Oh, right. So little, no matches, just a little fire starter like that. Yeah.
Okay. Caught. Start catching.
That evening, Ollie got the chance to put his firelighting skills to work. While most New Zealand families were inside watching the box, the Higginsons gathered around their backyard fire, continuing their education. After the break, unschooler Ben goes to school at 15.
I was completely unsure if I'd actually learned anything.
How will he do at NCEA? Strong flavour, isn't it? Yeah. It's The Good Life with Duncan Hill and Alice Kleinsman. They grow their own food, built their own home, make their own electricity, and unschool their children, Toby, Ina, and Ben.
We set it as a priority and we planned it, so it wasn't magic or good luck.
Unschooling is a priority because as teachers, Duncan and Alice know from experience just how hard it is to teach 30 kids in a classroom.
It's not a system that I see can work.
It can't, it's hamstrung. It's nothing against the people involved, because they're doing a hell of a good job when you've got 30 people there, but you can't imagine to be running 30 programs. You can't.
And at home, we can run a program for each of them.
And that's exactly what they did, until last year when Ben got, well, anxious.
I really wasn't sure if I'd actually learnt anything and if I'd completely just crash and burn as soon as I decided to go out in the real world.
Is there any more plain noodles?
At 15, Ben had never been to school, and he began to wonder just how well he'd do outside the Foxton utopia his parents had built. So he set off for high school down in the big smoke, Live-in.
I was quite surprised how quickly I caught up in all subjects, actually, yeah.
And do you like school?
At the moment, definitely.
Yeah? Why?
Well, I actually get pushed to learn stuff, whereas at home I just felt lethargic all the time.
So Ben went to school for the first time in the last term of last year to do NCEA 1.
I got 47 credits from 6 weeks. Got 1 excellence in chemistry. I'm not sure how many merits I got.
So you got 47 credits after just 6 weeks of education, well, formal education at school. Yeah. So you must have been pretty pleased with yourself.
I didn't particularly care, but I was still quite impressed.
But perhaps Ben's success isn't so surprising when you consider his mum Alice is a former maths and chemistry teacher, and Duncan teaches high school technology.
Children are always wanting to learn stuff, and there's no stopping them.
Are they not missing out on reading, writing, arithmetic?
Apparently not. Ben, anyway, when he was 10 or 11, he had a reading age of 27. It was hilarious. We laughed when we saw it, but okay, what's a reading age of 27 and what's 26 and what's 20?
Academically, Ben's doing fine, wants to be an engineer, but that's not the only reason he decided to go to school.
I don't think anything can beat school for social contact. Yeah. Really, it's really hard to get that in any other way. So,
girls?
Yeah, that's none in the homeschooling groups. Yeah, it was a bit overwhelming when I started school, actually.
We're pretty democratic, so we gauge what do you want. If they want to go to school, they can go to school.
Our children would be great at school, but I don't want them to have to go to school for 12 years to get to a point where they could do that in 6 months, which I know they can. Having taught the senior sciences and certainly up to Year 11, it's not difficult.
Lots of fun things to do today.
One of the ironies of unschooling is that at times they do get together in groups to do the sort of things schools do. Jane and Hannah, Ina and Alice are taking a chemistry class.
There is a new compound being formed in here.
The students here have come to Wellington from all over the country, not because they have to, but because they want to learn basic chemistry.
I guess in a normal school they do this all the time, whereas for these kids it's all new, and so they're very motivated. It's very special for them to come in here.
And that makes them a delight to teach.
I just really enjoy the fact that the kids love it so much. Yeah. It's really rewarding because the kids come to me afterwards and say, I really enjoyed this class and I learned so much and I want to find out more about chemistry.
And you don't get that in a normal school?
No. Very occasionally.
There are no exams here, no homework, but if they're inspired, they'll come back.
But let's face it, not all parents are as articulate or passionate about education as you are. How are they going to do this?
When I was a teacher, all the kids I taught were products of what happened at home, and I saw that really clearly. So if the kids that are going to do well in the school system are going to do well, period. And homeschoolers traditionally do really, really well out in the real world where they've spent their lives growing up. They're fine, they're passionate, they know what they want to do, they'll go and get themselves educated and get good jobs and don't cause trouble.
Ideally, what would you like your children to be like when they're 16 or 17?
If you interview parents around the world, every parent at the end of the day wants their kids to be happy.
In the few days I spent with the unschoolers, that happiness shone through. No tears or tantrums, just happy kids who love what they're doing.
The interesting thing is, when you talk to parents about this, it's like it's a future goal, happiness. It's not something that they wish for their kids now in their childhood. A lot of parents are so busy making sure that their future lives are going to be really good and they'll be happy. Whereas for me, my goal today is that my kids are happy. Now, today. And then what they learn from that is that happiness is really important. I walk the line.